Now, I will say I agree with him. Health will whip genetics some days. I mean, you can have the best genetics in the world, but if they ain't healthy, they're gonna lose. I don't care what kind of show it is. That is definitely true. A couple of things, like I want to talk about one study that I read. It talked about vitamin E and selenium. The researchers found that breeders receiving higher vitamin E levels, as in 55 milligrams per pound, I believe. Yeah, 55 per pound, had improved the hatchability versus lower levels, like the 20s and the 15s that we were talking about in feed earlier. Um, Organic selenium also improves the egg quality. That was found on ScienceDirect.com. That research for that, it talked about how the minimum to prevent deficiency isn't always the same as optimum breeder performance, was one of the statements that I read when I was reading that. But when they were talking about the higher levels of vitamin E and selenium, they talked about reproduction health, embryo survival, and chick vigor was the main thing that those three things was wrapped around. Because I mean, this study was done based on breeder birds, but that's what it says. And another study that I read on frontiers.org, they're an organization that has a scientific research, found that zinc was helped a whole lot in reproduction and immunity, manganese with skeletal formation, and copper with connective tissue and shell membrane. Um, So trace minerals influence eggshell quality, embryo growth, and protein performance. Again, that's another scientific study that was done. And another one that was done by Science Direct was broiler breeder research. And it demonstrated that breeders have specific amino acid requirements during production and performance stages. The amino acids influence the reproduction, the product output, fertility, and health. So, that's your lysine methionine and the threonine that bonds the trace amigos together.